So the evangelists were created by the church way back to propagate Christianity. Now, how do you make somebody believe in God? Now, there is no physical God. So the only way you make people believe in God is through the act of God, those miracles and magics. Right. Now, similarly, as an innovation evangelist, my role is to make people believe in innovation. Now, the misconception about innovation is that I can't innovate. Right. Innovation is not for me, or maybe it's too complex. Why should I bother? So as an innovation evangelist over the last almost 1.5 decades now, my job has been to give people confidence that yes, you can innovate. Now, confidence without ammunitions can make you quickly frustrated, which means that I also need to give them arms and ammunitions to practice innovation and to see for themselves that yes, it works. And one such ammunition is design thinking. And the third role that I have, so the first is confidence, second is material, and third is storytelling. So I'm like a cross-pollinator. I'll pick up a story from you, I'll pick up a story from somewhere else, and we'll try to blend those stories and come up with a narrative. And nothing moves people like narratives. Now, talking about my own journey on the space of design thinking, it happened to me. Design thinking per se happened to me. But as far as innovation and creativity is concerned, it has been a very, very long and very richly rewarding journey. It started way back in 2004 when I was studying at IIT Mumbai. And that's when I got to introduce myself to this topic of innovation and technology management. Soon after, I got a chance to do an internship, the winter internship with Titan, got to understand some of the nuts and bolts of innovation. Wipro gave me a platform to exercise innovation in the ecosystem. IIM gave me the credibility and the depth of understanding, and which eventually led me to write a book on design thinking, run a consulting company, and 450 workshops on. I'm pretty confident to say that we can talk about design thinking in an Indian context. We can Indianize it. And I tend to believe that design thinking is a very, very powerful tool to evangelize innovation. So that's been the journey so far. Design thinking in a very simple fashion is a human-centric systematic model of problem solving. Now there are 3 keywords that stem out here. The first is human centricity, and which is not very natural. If you talk to an organization, they'll be very profit-centric, isn't it? Right. They might be product-centric, that our product has to be great. Right. Or in certain cases, yeah, customer-centric. But they need to be human-centric. And the human doesn't always have to be the customer. It's a classic mistake organizations make, that I only have to care about the customers, maybe at the cost of my own employees.
Usually when we look at businesses, the only thing comes as a customer.
Absolutely. And this is a recipe of disaster. Because if your employees are not happy, obviously they'll not make the customers happy in the long run. Right. Again, it is very systematic. The second key operative is it is very, very systematic model, which again goes against the grain of conventional wisdom that people think that, hey, how can creativity be systematized? Creativity has to be chaotic. No, it has to be disciplined chaos, controlled chaos. Because without discipline, there is no performance. And without chaos, there is no evolution. And thirdly, it has to be about problem solving. It doesn't have to be about coming up with better technology, clever applications. It's about solving problems which can be even day-to-day problems. Now, coming to the second part of your question, that how does it help Indian organizations? I think Indian organizations will greatly benefit by being slightly more disciplined about innovation and creativity. 20-30 years back, we didn't have the concept of quality in India. Quality was thought of as somebody's choice. But today, Indian products are making world-class quality claims. We have managed to bring quality into the systems, into the ethos, into the ways of people doing things. Am I right? So what was the state of quality 30 years back is the state of innovation today. People think that innovation is a matter of choice. Innovation is a matter of leadership style. Innovation cannot be institutionalized. It cannot be made into a process. It can't be made into a discipline. And what design thinking is doing is exactly what Six Sigma did for quality. Six Sigma brought discipline to quality. Design thinking is bringing discipline to innovation and creativity. For a very, very long time, organizations were not re-looking at their employee engagement, business models, adoption of digital technology. And as Satya Nadella said, 4 years of transformation has happened in 2 months, which is so true. Almost overnight, employees got to work from home. Zoom, Microsoft Teams became a part and parcel of people's life. Digital payments have picked up like anything lately. And those organizations which have embraced these technologies smoothly have been benefited in the long run than those who are waiting for things to go back to normal. They may never be a normal. It would be a new normal. Now, as a coach and trainer on design thinking, what I have experienced over the last 18 months or so is, thankfully, the pace of learning hasn't come down. I always used to fear that maybe people will cut off their learning budget. That's a soft target anyways in terms of cost cutting, but it hasn't happened. Trainers and coaches like me, employees, learning organizations, all have very seamlessly adopted to the new ways of doing things, and things are going pretty okay. Apart from adopting and adapting to this new model, we've also embraced a lot of digital technologies like Mural. I extensively use Mural for my training programs, and I find it to be a fantastic collaboration tool when I have to engage disparate teams from different parts of the world. Only yesterday I was doing a program where we had participants from Romania, and several other parts of Europe. In the pre-pandemic era, it was unthinkable that I'm sitting here in India and engaging people from across the world. So I think net, those organizations which are willing to adopt technology, willing to adapt their ways of working, have gotten benefit tremendously from this. And this is design thinking in disguise. What they have done very subconsciously is adopting design thinking. But the key to embracing design thinking is disciplined experimentation. Now all of us have to experiment, but we do not design it in such a way that we draw insights even when the experiment fails. So if I have to evolve my course content on design thinking, if I have to change my ways of engagement, I need to experiment. I need to experiment with my course content, my mechanism of delivery, session timing, session duration, how I'm engaging, how I'm breaking ice. And each of these are experiments. If I'm doing these experiments more consciously, then my learning never stops. But if I'm failing the experimentation, then the world is changing anyways. What we need to understand is that the world is not waiting for you to change. Change is compulsory. Growth is optional. Things will change, but whether you choose to grow or not is completely up to you. So I think if all of us can become slightly more disciplined in terms of the way we are experimenting, we will learn a lot more and we'll regret a lot less. Because when you know what you're doing is an experiment, you're okay if it doesn't work because you said it's an experiment. Whereas if you think that it has to work, and if it doesn't work, you start feeling bad about it, and maybe you stop doing it altogether, and that's where you stop learning and growing. So to reduce design thinking on a common application basis, I think it will be disciplined experimentation.